Hi, how are you doing today? I'm your host, Rich, here on behalf of Rich TV Live with our very special guest, Manish Grigo, the Chief Strategy Officer of Discover Wellness. How are you doing today, Manish?
I'm doing well, Rich. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to ask you a question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you want to join Discover Wellness?
Yeah, so I've been capital markets since 2007. I joined Discover Wellness in December of 2020. What really attracted me to Discover Wellness was the platform. It's lean. It's in the CBD business, which is more related to wellness and different from the psychoactive elements of the cannabis market. And I thought this a little bit still early stages, and Discover Wellness again, flat organization, asset light. We've learned from other people's mistakes, and I figured this would be a right time to join them to help them grow further.
Okay, great. And Discover Wellness is setting up a brand new industrial scale CBD extraction facility. Can you go through some of the production capabilities and what sets you guys apart from other CBD extractors in the market?
Yeah, so like I said before, so this is our facility in Newell, close to Calgary in Alberta. Essentially, this can process about 1 million pounds of hemp a year. And again, it's a new facility, allows us to learn from other people's mistakes. So being a newer facility, we're able to see that we can do the same kind of shifts with fewer people. You don't need that kind of heavy regulation that would be typically required with something with higher THC content or the cannabis market. So this is industrial hemp, which is more like treated like an agricultural commodity. Yes, there are rules and licenses around it, but however, so you don't have that same kind of resource and regulatory overheads around it.
Can you go through some of the production capabilities and what sets you guys apart from other CBD extractors in the market?
Yeah, so like I said before, it's it's a light organization in terms of the manpower required, and we've learned work from other people. And again, this is industrial hemp, which is treated more like an agricultural product. So fewer cost overheads in terms of how we manage the inventory and everything and the handling process.
Okay, great. The Discover Wellness property is easily scalable. Can you give us an idea of what that means for the company and what are the implications once you guys reach your full potential?
So in terms of implications would be, again, based on our extraction facility being fully upgraded, our strategy is to be, have a cost leadership position in this. And the reason we can establish a cost leadership position is, again, it's a new facility. We've learned from other people's mistakes. So we are not overly overstaffed. In terms of, if you look at some of the earlier competitors that came in, they had to hire a chief scientific officer. They had to hire someone doing a lot of the security elements to it. So if you peel out all those layers, our costs become a lot lower compared to everyone else. And again, we've learned from other people's mistakes over the last 4 or 5 years. And again, being industrial hemp allows us to be, flat organizations. So for example, right now, when we're not in production, we have only 4 employees. So that's a very lean operation. And based on a nameplate capacity of 1 million pounds of hemp, if you process that and you assume, again, about $1,800 per pound of concentrated distillate mix, you get to about 70,000 pounds. Based on that pricing, again, it works out to about $126 million a year.
Wow.
Again, we have a lot of work to do. We're not there yet, but I'm just saying what the implications would be from a blue sky potential. So still have a lot of work to do. Just want to be clear on that.
Hey, well, it's good that you guys have the scalability. That's huge.
Yeah,
Can you talk to us about your partnership with Synergenetics Biosciences? My understanding is that Synergenetics cultivates and engineers their own proprietary hemp strains. How does this give you guys a competitive advantage over others? And what does the partnership mean for the company?
So essentially, the SG partnership gives us access to what we call high CBD strain hemp, right? So what does high CBD strain translate to? It translates to higher yield when you put it through the processing facility. So 15% plus CBD strains. On average, we are about 10% plus. The marketplace, roughly, you're getting about 5% plus CBD, and and less than 0.3% THC content, which is why you can classify it as industrial hemp, as opposed to cannabis, or the psychoactive elements are basically missing in this, right? Or it's very low, so the classification changes. So SGE gives us access to high CBD content, biomass, which essentially entails lower cost of extraction, which also means we can process it faster at a cheaper cost, and it goes very much in line with our cost leadership strategy.
With the CBD market being saturated with all the hemp farms that have come on in the last 2 years, how will you deal with the price of CBD being pushed down? We've seen the price really come down a lot since legalization. How are you guys going to handle that?
So like I said before, you're right. So the cost has come down, but we have been pursuing a cost leadership strategy. And this is one leg of it, which means, what does that entail for us? Step one, new facility, learning from other people's mistakes, flat organization for employees right now. They'll be working in shifts. The second element is the SG partnership helps us with the cost leadership element of it, which is, what does that mean? It means 10% plus, 15% plus CBD content. So higher content means less product has to be moved through the extraction facility to get the same dollar amount at the distillate or the isolates at the end of it. So that's the reason. So these two elements help us in the value chain, and even with lower prices, we'd be able to compete. So essentially, the cost leadership strategy is one part of it, and the other part would be the global distribution strategy.
You also recently announced a memorandum of understanding with Quad Play of Thailand. What can you tell us about the deal, why it's important for the company, and the overall opportunity in Thailand?
So Thailand is actually a very important part of our strategy. It's early stages. Thailand is the first country in the world to deregulate this market entirely. What does deregulation in entirety mean? Essentially, it means isolates that pass less than 0.2% THC, right, with higher cannabis content, can be put into food, cosmetics, without licenses. So the end product can be put on a shelf, like a convenience store. So essentially, a beverage drink with less than 0.2% THC content with higher CBD would be sitting on the same shelf as Pepsi or Coke, right? So that's where there's a key differentiation there. Yes, you would need a license to import the seeds, to process it. But once the processing is done and the CBD isolate and everything else has been extracted and it's been given to the consumer, so if you look at kind of Thai newspaper, you understand the excitement around it. Essentially, it's similar to what Canada had when there was a deregulation around it. The only key difference is the regulatory overheads and everything else reduces dramatically when you're able to implement it directly into food and cosmetics and beverages for that. So the market size multiplies quite dramatically. Again, the estimates are around $5 billion. We don't know that. It's pretty nascent. So the MOU understanding right now with QP Quad Play is essentially a Thai organization with deep relationships in the Thai market in the food beverage industry. They also run 2 wellness clinics. So they have been associated with this industry for quite a while, and we're leveraging their relationships with farmers, which is the cultivators, with universities that they have in terms of growing it in strains. The other part would be also with the consumer food and beverage markets. So these 3 legs would be part of their growth strategy. And the seeds is for us a good way to get an equity toehold in an early market. So again, going back to our comment on, or my comment on us being a flat organization. So this is just a very low cost way of us getting an extra distribution foothold in Thailand. And I think with Thailand being the first one in Southeast Asia. You'd see other countries, but there's a first mover advantage to any country changing regulations, similar to what Canada went through when it deregulated before the American market did on a federal level. And you saw the whole market activity in Canada. Even to this day, although we are 1/10 of the US market, we're still much larger when it comes to capital market side of it, in terms of the companies that grow in. So I think Thailand's going to be able to take advantage of being the first country to take a move towards deregulation.
That's great. That's huge. What are some of the milestones set for the company this year in 2021?
So the first key thing would be obviously to get our extraction facility up and running. We should be able to do it somewhere around end of April. That's the expectation. COVID has had some impact. I mean, I would say quite a bit of impact in terms of getting the design and everything ready to a full facility processing facility ready. Sorry, and we should be cash flow positive in 2021. The reason we'd be cash flow positive is because SG supplied us hemp in lieu of shares, which was disclosed in December 2020. What does that entail? It means about $5 million in savings. So we didn't have to raise or dilute our shareholders. And essentially, when you translate 550,000 pounds to an extraction facility, every dollar that comes in is right to the cash line, right?
Our community is really big and our communities all over the world. We'll have people in over 100 countries watch this video. And it's extremely important for us to understand the share structure. We like tight float stocks, companies that are really responsible with understanding where they put all their shares, how they distribute shares. That's extremely important to us. So can you explain the share structure and give us a breakdown of Discover Wellness shares outstanding and how much is held by insiders?
Yeah, so so we have basic shares outstanding is about 52.3 million shares, fully diluted about 56.9 million shares.
Very good.
And essentially 30% is held by management and insiders. So pretty tightly held structure. And like I said, we are sensitive to dilution. So hence we took the inventory in lieu of shares rather than going to the market to raise capital. So what we're trying to do is be cost effective and both in our inventory or basically a buying side of it, as well as on the distribution side, as well as you can see with the Thailand agreement or anything else. We're trying to be very cost effective on both sides.
That's great. That's music to my ears. If there was one thing you would want to know, and you would want shareholders to know about Discover Wellness, what would it be?
Well, like I said before, I think kind of the same theme around the story is, cost-effective strategy. So there's a two-pronged strategy. One is a cost leadership when it comes to product pricing. The second part is cost-effective distribution, hence the Thailand agreement that we just made. So we are trying to do both sides, which is collect the marketing and distribution element as well in terms of pursuing JVs or MOUs with different countries where we get a marketing agreement and in lieu of the SG seeds, like the Thai agreement shows, to get a distribution wider than what we have. So there's a global distribution strategy as well as a cost leadership strategy within Canada.
With our shareholders and with all the viewers and subscribers and followers that are going to watch this video, they're going to most likely be interested in getting in contact with the company. They're going to want to learn more. They're going to want to invest. They're going to want to potentially do LOIs, joint ventures, because there's so many public companies watching our videos. What would be the best way for them to get in contact with you?
So the best way would be either email, so mgrigo@discoverwellnesssolutions.ca, or our phone number, the 1-800 numbers, which is on our press releases.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Manish Grigo, the Chief Strategy Officer of Discover Wellness. Remember, Rich TV Live, everyone that's watching, is for education, entertainment purposes. Always do your due diligence, always do your research before you invest in anything that we talk about here in Rich TV Live. Chances are, once you do your research and you speak to a financial advisor, your financial advisor is going to say, where'd you get this pick? You can say from Rich TV Live, and they're going to say, it's a really nice pick. I really like this company. Manish, I think you guys are doing great work. I've always been a big fan of CBDs, always. So I love the CBD industry. Yeah. I thought there would be more CBD companies right now, and there isn't. So I still think there's a huge market for you guys to penetrate. And I think that you guys are undervalued, underappreciated, underexposed with a tight flow and a growing story. And like you said, some huge growth potential as far as revenue, which our community loves to buy revenue. So revenue generating businesses, early stage super growth companies is what we look for. And I think you guys are kind of falling in that category. So I'm really excited to see how you guys are going to evolve. Now, remember, if you guys like this video, please smash the like button, comment down below, share the video, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not winning, you're not watching. This is Rich from Rich TV Live with Manish Grigo, the Chief Strategy Officer of Discover Wellness, saying, have a nice day, everybody. Thank you, Manish.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Have yourself a great day and keep up all the great work.